Alright, this is Noah Husky Hardcore here. Going to start my first segment here, just Broncos talk. Not really talking about the games too much. Unfortunately, I didn't do as much homework as I was planning on doing last night, so still going to be winging it a little bit. But there was a couple things that I saw that go ahead and talk about real quick. First of all, on Sunday on the ESPN pregame shows, I did hear that the Broncos are going back to the orange uniforms, is what they said. Now, I don't know what that means, if they're just going to wear the orange tops with their same helmets and stuff that they're using now, but hopefully they're going back to the old orange and the blue with the D and the Bronco coming through the middle. I love those uniforms. I thought they were the best in the league back in the day. I hope they go back to it. It sounds like Elway might probably have had something to do with the change. I'm sure he liked those uniforms a lot better too. Nothing that I have a bad about our uniforms now, but the orange really, I mean, when you saw the orange on TV, you knew that was the Denver Broncos, and it was ready. There were some good memories back then. Old Mile High and Elway coming back in the fourth quarters, and it brings up a lot of good memories. So I'm hoping that they go all the way back to their old uniforms, not just the orange tops with the new uniforms I have there. So that was a little news that made me pretty happy on Sunday. I also saw that this summer the Miami Dolphins decided try to get some more ticket sales into their stadium. That they decided that the week's game against the Broncos, they were going to make it Gator Day, try to get some of the University of Florida alumni that live in Miami to show up to the games. And now it's going to be Tebow's first start of the season. I don't know what they were thinking. First of all, you have an in-state rivalry school coming and playing in the same stadium that I believe the Hurricanes are playing in there now. I don't think the Orange Bowl is still around anymore, but I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. But I think they're playing in the new stadium there in Miami. And now you're going to have Gators fans that are a promotion to get them there. And then you just happen to pick it to be the day that the greatest Gator of all time is going to show up at your stadium. Pretty nice. I have to say, shout out to Miami. Thank you for taking away a little bit of your home field advantage when we come down there in 2 weeks. It would be nice to see how the Gator fans respond and how Tebow responds. Kind of kind of happy to hear that. Good news for the Broncos. Good news for Tebow, and I'm sure it's good news for a lot of the Florida fans that are going to be there at the game that day. Um, Besides that, we're going to go over a little bit of Tebow Orton. It's the hot topic right now. Um, didn't get to do a whole lot of the homework, like I said, that I was wanting to do, but basically, Kyle Orton has nothing to blame about his losing of his job but himself. Got his stats for the year. He completed 91 passes out of 155 attempts at 58.7%. 976 yards, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, sacked 9 times for a QB rating of 75.7. So it wasn't really a great year for Orton all around. Now his numbers last year were astronomical through the first 5 games of the season. We threw the ball a lot, but he didn't turn it over a lot. And new coaching staff, even though he's got the same coordinator, a different game plan. Not really trying to make too many excuses for him, but he just hasn't paid off this year. And hopefully the rest of the season will go pretty good for the Broncos. Have pretty good feelings. So, like I said in yesterday's game, I think the whole season depends on what our offense coordinator McCoy does with Tim Tebow. We have to play to his strengths. We can't use the same play calling. We have to get Tim Tebow out of the pocket. We got to bootleg him. We got to make him be who he is. You play to your team's strengths. If you have a good running quarterback, a good quarterback that throws out of the outside of the pocket, well, then move him out of the pocket. That's how you're going to get the best success. You look back and past Steve Young got traded out of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay didn't think he was a good quarterback. Went to San Francisco, had a good coach, knew that he was a scrambler, could move on the run, throw on the run, and ended up having some of the great single seasons quarterbacks ever had. Um, Rich Gannon, he did the play-by-play for the Broncos game, and while he was a little bit critical on Tim Tebow, Gannon at first was a backup quarterback. He was a backup quarterback here in Kansas City for a while. I'm not sure where he came from before that. I'll have to check. Like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of homework, but he was on the bench behind Elvis Gerback, and once he really got going and people realized that he could play was when they started moving him out of the pocket, and he was able to scramble around and make plays with his feet. So if you try to sit a person like that in the pocket and get him out of his comfort zone, it's going to affect the whole team. It's going to affect his play, and it's hopefully our coordinator McCoy, who I don't know if it's because of how he's been told by Fox to play call this year, running the ball a little bit too much in my opinion, but hopefully they'll switch that around and play to Tim's strengths, and the Broncos should be able to go on and have a pretty decent rest of the season. Be interesting to see. I'm glad that Tebow's going to get 11 starts, and we should have that should be a large enough sample that we'll know what we got by the end of the season. Listening to sports talk yesterday, I actually found a pretty decent radio station in Denver, has pretty decent little sports talk. Didn't get to listen to a whole lot of it because I was pretty busy yesterday. I was at work by myself, so I was running 3 different areas at a couple certain times because everybody was at a meeting or a conference or something, and so I was pretty busy. Didn't get to listen to a whole lot, but they were talking about how the media had Brady Quinn as the number 2 quarterback over Tebow, and I just want to bring up this part again. I've said it in my other videos. Tim Tebow, they actually think Brady Quinn outplayed Tebow in the preseason. I watched the preseason games. I did not see that. I thought Tebow had a pretty good preseason for a second-year quarterback that didn't have an off season and only started in 3 games last year and really got going to get going. But not only that was just how I felt watching the games. Now I have the stats to back it up. And a lot of these media people were saying, "Well, we're not Tebow haters. This is what they said. We're not Tebow haters, but we're just going by what we saw." The Broncos never came out and said Brady Quinn was our number 2 quarterback. They were both. This year, you don't have to list who your number 2 quarterback is. So they were both unlisted. Why tell other teams who's your number 2, who's your number 3 if you don't have to? Why give out free information? So they said, well, we were just watching it, and that's what we thought was Brady Quinn was the number 2 because he looked better than Tebow. Well, this is what they thought looked better than Tebow. Tebow was 20 for 31 for 310 yards, 64.5% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating of 108.3 during the preseason. I'm not going over Tebow's this season's stats because it's only been 1 half. His passer rating was over 100, but like I said, it's only 1 half, and I'm not going to worry about that right now. We got to get a bigger sample of that. Now let's go to Brady Quinn's preseason stats. 25 for 42 for 276 yards, 52.4% completion percentage. His average pass play was 6.6 yards. I forgot to say that Tebow's was a 10 yard average for his average completion. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating of 69.1. So for all you media people out there that actually thought Brady Quinn was better than Tim Tebow this preseason. There's only two options. One, you're a Tebow hater. Number two, you're a freaking idiot. Hey, it sounds a little rough. I don't care. This is kind of that's just how I see it. I've been sick and tired of hearing this. Tebow's not even the second string all year. If you really think that Brady Quinn had a better, the only stat was better. He threw one more touchdown than Tebow, but he also threw two picks. Uh, Less completion percentage, less yards, even though he completed more passes, and Tebow had 40 points better in quarterback rating. So I'll let you media people, you decide which one it was. You're either a Tebow hater or an idiot. And that's just how I see it. The media in Denver is part of the reason why I wanted to start doing these videos, even though, like I said, 102.3 yesterday I was pretty happy with. Um, the 104.3, whatever, the fan, was the Mike and Scott show, especially Mike. I thought that guy was an idiot, and that's why I kind of wanted to come out and talk about other sports stuff than he talks about, because really he doesn't talk about sports. His whole show is time filler, blah blah blah, mambo jambo crap that nobody cares about. Um, so that was just my little going off on the media part a little bit about the whole situation. Um, Going on. I was planning on going through and probably be what I'm working on today. I couldn't find game by game stats. I didn't really look too hard. I only looked for like 15 minutes this morning. But what I kind of had to plan was going through the first 5 games of this year and comparing them to the first 5 games of last year. See what's different, what's been going on better, what's looking worse. So far, like, I think we have more 100-yard running games this year in the first 5 games of the season than we had all year last year. The only two that I can remember were the 2 games against Kansas City. Um, Moreno finished the year last year with 779 yards rushing. Through 5 games, McGahee's got about half of that, 384 yards rushing. So there's a little bit of kind of what I was looking for to see game by game stats of where we're looking at now. Have we made progress? We're not really going to. We'll know from everybody besides Tebow if we've made progress, because it's basically the same team. Um, we have only added one offensive lineman that we didn't have last year, Franklin, and we're running the ball better. Clady missed a lot last year because of injury, but this is kind of what I'm looking forward to talking about tomorrow. Didn't have all the information today. Um, Actually, it looks like I wouldn't have a whole lot of time, so I only got a couple minutes left. So that ends the first thoughts of my Denver Broncos sports talk. I think it went all right, but I'll try to get a little more information and be back and ready to talk a little bit more Broncos football tomorrow. Later.